guys, welcome to another one of our Tuesday programs titled Tales and Tales. Get it? Tales, like a story, and tales. So a lot of the programs have been about animals. Some of them have been live. This is the Humane Society. Pardon me?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking his name.
Oh, this is right. These are two people from the Humane Society, the Missoula Humane Society, except you're calling it now what's the full title?
The Humane Society of Western Montana.
Humane Society of Western Montana.
That's a mouthful, huh?
And this is Tiff, who's speaking like Darth Vader. She's really paying attention. And I'll let them introduce themselves and what they're going to do.
Great, thank you, Dana.
My name is Tiff, and this is Tori. We're both from the Humane Society of Western Montana. And one thing I always like to make clear is we are a completely private animal shelter. We're not affiliated with the HSUS. We rely on donations and fundraising to take care of all of our pets and all of our operations. I'm the behavior manager there, and I'm also a certified professional dog trainer. Tori is also part of our behavior team, and we care a lot about how animals feel and how they behave at our shelter. So shelters, if you think animal shelters, what do you think happens in an animal shelter? You can just shout it out behind me. Yes?
Well, it's a place where a dog and cat can either come and go.
Yeah, so if the dog or cat doesn't have a home, that's where they go. What else?
Basically, like if they find like a lost like animal that doesn't have an owner, and when it's a baby or something, they just take it in and try to lose it, and then they try to get it to like well, their money will, but basically just take care of them. If the animal shelter can't take care of them for too much longer, and the animal shelter trains them, helps them.
Wow, you know all about what we do. Have you done one of our critter counts? No, well, you should read my walking brochure because you just nailed it on the head. Yes, we do take in strays or litters of kittens or puppies that don't have any parents, and we find them foster homes before we can adopt them out. Any other ideas about what an animal shelter might do? All right, well, those are two big ones, but sheltering has really changed in the last decade. Yeah, did you have another thing to add?
Do you sometimes do classes, right?
We do, yes. So I teach classes, and we're going to actually have a lot of fun. You guys are going to help us train Ponzu today. So we do a lot of different things, but even though shelters are known for places where people's dogs and cats might go, or homeless dogs and cats might go to find a home, that's only a small fraction of what we do, because we really care about how that pet feels and behaves while in our shelter. For example, if a dog or a cat or even a rabbit or a guinea pig is not happy, like they're pacing in their kennels a lot, right? They're doing this, they're barking a lot. Do you think someone's going to want to take that dog home if they're not even looking at you? They're just doing this. I mean, maybe someone will feel bad for that pet, but I would feel bad for that pet for needing to spend a long time there acting like that. And people might think, wow, this pet looks a little strange. I'm interested in this other one instead. So our job as the behavior team is to help those pets feel better, feel less stressed, and maybe learn some skills that can help them get adopted more quickly. So that was just a quick little explanation of what we do for pets in our shelter, but I also just want to talk about training and behavior in general. I love being a trainer because I get to work with people and their animals, and we use what's called positive reinforcement-based training, which means we find out what an animal likes and we use it to teach them new skills. So one part of that is using a clicker. Has anyone heard of a clicker before for training? So some of you have. So the clicker is like the word good. Like when you do a good job, people say good job, and they might give you a high five or something. The good or the click means to the dog that they did the right thing. So Tori, you'll bring Ponzi over here. When you get a dog for the first time, they don't know what this sound means. So what you need to do is you teach it to them. This is called charging the marker. The click is the marker, and the marker marks good behaviors or behaviors that you like. So after doing this, I'm just making the sound and giving him a tiny piece of treat, because all dogs like food to some degree. He's going to start thinking, oh, I like this sound. When this sound happens, I get something really good. And once we have that communication established, we can start training together. So Ponzu's not my dog. Ponzu is Tori's dog. She's done a really great job with him. But even me, I really haven't done much with him. Let me see what I can get him to do. So I'm going to mark that. That was a cute little sit pretty, wasn't it? Let's see if I can use a treat to guide him downwards. Oh, he's gonna get up, that's fine. How about a sit? That's awesome. Stand, yeah. Great job. Can you move in a circle for me? Excellent. So really quick and simple skills, and you can see that when we train a dog, I'm not yanking on him, I'm not pushing him, I'm using what he likes to work with him, and that really is the foundation of what we do. So what we're going to do is we are going to work together, and we're going to teach Ponzi some new tricks. And just know that kind of like how we learn, dogs don't learn a skill perfectly in one day or in one session. But day after day, session after session, if you practice hard enough, if we practice hard enough together, they will pick up the skill. Kind of like when I take math classes at school. No way am I going to learn that in one day. So just know that when we train Ponzi together today, he's not going to be perfectly trained at every skill, but we're going to help get him there. So here's what we're going to do. Tori has already charged the marker. So Ponzi, did you see how he turned his head? He already knows what that marker means. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each of you a clicker. But here's the thing, please do not click it until I tell you to, because if we all click it randomly, he's going to get really confused. So while I pass this out, and why don't you just take one and then pass the bag around? I'm just going to give the bag to you. While the clickers come around the room, does anyone have any questions about what a marker is? Like why we need a click? Yes?
Why do you need how does the marker, why does he like it?
Exactly, great question. So he likes it because when he hears the marker, the click, he gets a treat. So he knows that it's a signal that he's going to get a reward. And the reason why we need it is let's make pretend I want to reward him for standing, right? But if I don't have any marker, I just need to kind of run over there, and now he's already moved. And that can be really confusing for a dog. So if I'm trying to teach him to stand still or something, if I mark the behavior first, then the reward comes. Kind of like, imagine you're just hanging out at home and your mom comes and just gives you an ice cream cone. I mean, you're gonna be happy about that. I mean, I'd be really happy about that. But you might be wondering, why did I get this ice cream cone? Versus if your parent told you, thank you for doing the dishes, and then gives you an ice cream cone, you probably can think, oh, I got the ice cream cone for doing the dishes. So the click or the good or the thank you that marks the behavior. Thank you for asking. Does anyone have any other questions? Yes?
Will you need to bring these home?
Unfortunately not, but clickers are super cheap, and we do sell them at the shelter. And yeah, I didn't come prepared today. We usually have some giveaways, but I didn't bring stickers or anything. I'm so sorry about that. No rewards for the humans today. How horrible of us positive reinforcement trainers. So let's start with the basics. So everyone get your clicker ready, and this little stem points down because only one part of the metal will click. And here's what I want to do first. I want you to look at Ponzu, and I want you to watch his cute little front paws. When he goes up into that cute begging position, I want you to click. So you just press it one time, all right? You have a question?
I don't know how these work.
Yeah, so you just press the metal part.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you don't get it the first time, it's okay, because we're going to do a lot of training together. So let's see if he can do it. Go ahead and watch his front paws and be ready to click when his front paws come up. Ready, Ponzu? Great job, guys. That's it. Let's do that another time. So we're just warming up here. Great job. And let's do that one more time. We're just warming up with the clicker here. We're marking. Perfect, guys. When those cute little front paws come up and you only need to click once. So he already knows that. That's pretty clear. It's one of his favorite things to do. But let's teach him a new skill. So this hoodie, we're just going to use it as a bed, and we're going to teach him to go to bed. And that's a really useful skill. If you ever take a training class with us at the Humane Society and you take basic manners, we're going to work on teaching your dogs to go to bed. Because when a dog knows to go to bed on cue, if you're cooking or if you have guests over or you need to answer the door to sign off for a package, you don't need to be like, get out of my way. You can just say, go to your bed or go to your spot or go to your kennel. and your dog will go to that place. But dogs don't come programmed speaking English. Great, and let's not mark that though, because even though we marked it 3 times, we're gonna work on a new skill. I love the enthusiasm though. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use a treat to lure him. So now I'm not gonna drag him, I'm gonna guide him with food. When all 4 paws are on that mat, I want you to click. So watch him. I'm looking for all 4 paws. So there's 1, 2. There we go. Yeah, great job, guys. All right, let's do that a few more times because repetition is key to teaching a dog a new behavior. Excellent. Great job, guys. And you can see he is getting off of the mat, but it's because we're just starting to teach him a new behavior. So let's increase criteria, which means let's make it a little harder for him. I don't want you to click until he gets onto the bed and sits. All right, so we're looking for 2 things now. So he's gonna get on the bed. And yeah, there we go. Great job, guys. Let's do that 2 more times. Great job. You're gonna just stay there? Yeah. Let's do it 1 more time. I'm still luring here. I'm using a treat to guide him. And we're waiting for that sit behavior. So see how it's taking a little bit. I'm just being patient. Great job, guys. Awesome. So when we're training a dog, I'll get to your question in just a moment. When we're training a dog, it's normal for us as humans to want to talk to them. Like, go to bed, come on, let's go, sit down, all of that. Those are called verbal cues. Like if someone says, sit down, that is a verbal cue for us to go sit down. Or if someone says, give me a high five, that's a cue for us to give you a high five. Dogs don't know English though. So when we talk to a dog, like lie down, 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 he has no idea what I'm saying. Our actions are more powerful than our words when we work with really any animals. So notice when I'm teaching him this skill, I'm not telling him go to bed, go to bed, go to bed, because he doesn't know it yet. But when a dog starts knowing the behaviors, we can start naming it. So as an example, let's say I want to call this go to bed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say to him, go to bed, and then I'm going to have him do the skill. Ponzu, go to bed. And let's click. Oh, we're waiting for that. Yeah, you guys were waiting for my period criteria. Great job. So let's do that 1 more time. You guys are right. Let's wait for him to go to bed and sit on it. Ponzu, go to bed. Awesome. Great job. And let's do that 1 more time. Ready, Ponzu? Go to bed. Awesome. I can't get the treat to you. Your paws are there. Great job. So even though he's not perfect today, like I can't just be like, go to bed and he's going to run there today, by working patiently and positively with him, he would really learn the skill probably in less than a week if I just did a 2-minute training session every day with him, because the rewards are coming there. The communication is super clear. So let's do some more training, but before I do that, does anyone have any questions? Yes, you've been so patient. Yeah. Bray? Yeah. Thought you looked familiar. Thanks. Great question. So first I taught him to really like the smell. Then when he found it, I would tell him to sit and then give him a treat. Great question. Any other questions? Yes.
Like if you had, like if he had known the trick, but he forgot it, would you just like do the process all over?
Totally, I would. And it's always good to go back to the beginning sometimes. Like when I didn't ride my bike for a few months, I kind of had to ride on those easy streets for a few days before I got really comfortable again. Same with dogs. That one he knows really good though, really well. Any other questions about training so far? Yes.
I was just kind of confused. Do you do like big dogs, like baby dogs, like 3 times?
Oh yeah, my dog is 75 pounds. How much does Ponzu weigh?
27.
27 pounds. So my other dog,
Gigantic. She's probably like half the size of
wow, yeah, yep. So this works on all dogs of all sizes. In fact, clicker training is just mark and reward training. Like it doesn't need to be a clicker. It's the same kind of training they use for dolphins and lions and bears. I even had some students at a marine lab train crabs, like the crabs that scuttle along in the water. They were nocturnal mud crabs, which means when they see light, they'll hide. But the students taught the crabs in 1 week to follow a flashlight, so go to the light to get a piece of food against their instinct. And it's all the same kind of training, so really cool stuff. They actually use the clicker to work on timing for neurosurgeons, or just surgeons sometimes, or human surgeons. So it's really, really cool stuff. Yeah.
Is there a certain age for dogs to do this?
Nope.
Or they learn at all ages?
All ages.
Wow.
Yep. That's a really great question. We get asked that all the time, like, is that dog ever too old to learn? Thank goodness they're not, or else we would never adopt out our adult dogs, right? But because this training is all motivation based, as long as a dog is motivated by something, whether it's fetch, tug, petting, food, and all dogs that are alive are motivated by food, we can use it to train them. Giving you hope for maybe a dog in your home? Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Why the clip?
Why the click? Great question. We could easily use the word good or good boy. Like he might know what that means. But we talk to our dogs all the time. So the click is a very distinct sound that dogs don't usually hear. Yeah. Yes.
My grandma has a pet dog, and my grandpa like makes him sit when he's eating his food.
Great. I do that with my dogs too. I think that's awesome. Yes, Dana.
Talk about when you get into animal land and you're not sure what they're going to be motivated by.
Yeah.
Kind of what's your routine? Kind of run through.
Yeah. So let's say I just adopted a new dog, or I've raised 3 puppies by now. They come home, they're blank slates. I don't know who they are. I got to figure them out. One of the first things I do is I offer them a piece of food. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but once they eat it, I'm like, oh, you like that, huh? You're no longer going to get that for free, mister, because you're going to work for it now. But not in a mean way, like through games, through training, through easy things like this. And that's actually a quite complex question, Dana, because all dogs are motivated by something. It's all about how we control it. And as an example, one of my dogs is super prey driven. She loves chasing squirrels, but I do off-leash hiking and backpacking and things like that. I don't want her chasing wildlife, so I don't let her chase squirrels, but I can't just tell a dog, hey, predator, you're not allowed to chase things. That's going to cause a dog to have behavior problems. So I implement a lot of chase-based rewards in my training with her. This is an example of that. All right, so let's do a little bit more training with Ponzu. Can I move this cute little grass mound here?
Yep.
Great. Oh, I feel so strong. Look at me. Awesome. Yeah, question?
Yeah, I was curious about, you said you do a lot of chase-based rewards. What does that look like?
I have like 20 different tug toys. Not all on me at the same time, but some are fuzzy, some squeak. I have ones that hang off of a stick. I use a ball, of course. I use Frisbees. I like changing it up so my dog stays interested, but I also use that to teach control. So when people tell me I can't call my dog off of a running deer, I think what elements of that deer are exciting? Because dogs don't pop out of the womb wanting to chase deers. They want to chase it because it's moving and it smells interesting. Most of them do. So the first thing I do with my dog is I teach them to love chasing a ball or a disc or a tug toy, and then I control it. I ask for a little behavior first, like, can you sit before you chase? Then I ask for more. Can you sit when it touches the ground? Then I ask for a little bit more. Can you sit as it moves a little bit? And then can you sit as it moves a lot? And I actually have videos of my puppy who had no impulse control at first, then tear off after a disc and turn on a dime and come back to me. And when my dog can do that, I'm going to try it with dogs and people. And when my dog can do that, I'll work around deer. And not like in a mean way, like, there's a dog, stick him on the dog, right? Because, dogs are naturally interested in other dogs and people in real life. And my dogs can be called mid-chase off of deer. They've encountered bears, especially in the rattlesnake, and they are perfectly under control. Yes?
This is more like a comment. We did the same with our dog because the golden retriever is like obsessed with balls. So we taught her to she'll be going after the ball and we can call her and she'll just come back.
Yeah. Yep, that's a really great exercise. Yep, did you have a question? It's okay, when you remember, just raise your hand. I mean, a lot of this is we're tapping into dogs as who they are, right? Like, they're not little people. They have evolved with humans, which is really fascinating, but they are predators. Like, they want to chase things, dig on the ground, roll in dead things, bark at things, right? And we are putting them in like these incredibly molded societies with glass doors and fast things like bikes that they're not allowed to chase. So of course we don't want dogs being a nuisance in society, but we gotta be fair to them too. And here's why dogs can be hard to train. If you feed your dogs 2 times a day out of a bowl so their caloric needs are met, they don't need to hunt anymore, and then we put them in a yard with lots of grass and there are 20 toys lying around and they're gonna get bored, and then we go out in the world and there are bikers and squirrels and skateboarders and other dogs, and we tell them, no, you can't have any of those things. It gets hard for them. So, I'm not saying starve your dogs. I'm not saying don't give them any toys, because my dogs get plenty of treats and toys, but I do teach them some toys are for me to control and we need to play with it together. We use it to train. Or some food, like treats, you don't just get a treat for being cute. You get a treat because we're working together. And kind of like people, if you got $1,000 a day just for being awesome, because I know you're all awesome, you deserve it, but would we want to work 40 hours a week? I don't think so. So we got to use what motivates a dog to train them. That said, let's get ready to train again. I can talk at like a adult level about training, which is really what I want to do, but I got to tone it back down. So let's teach Ponzi to get on this cute little thing. It's kind of like mat training. So let's start with luring. Watch for when I don't know if he'll do it, because some dogs can be afraid of new objects. So let's first click if he even puts one paw on this. We got to be fair to him, right? Little steps first. So get your clickers ready. Do we not have clickers? So go ahead and pass this bag around to anyone who does not have a clicker. And we talked about how a clicker is just a marker. And you'll catch up, because we're going to do a few reps. So those who have clickers, be ready. Ready, Ponzi? Ooh, big stretch. He's getting ready, getting his stretches going. Ready, Ponzi? So watch his front paws. Let's see if I can get even one little paw up there. And I'm going to give it to him for trying so hard. Oh, he's thinking about it. He saw that one little paw come up. So he's trying something else, right? He's like, I'm not sure about this new grassy lump here. So let's do this. We're going to make it easier for him. We always need training to be fair and fun for the dog. I want you to click if he leans his head towards my treat. I don't even care about his paws right now. Just watch his neck. There you go! Yeah! He's doing great. Click once. Only click once. Yeah, I like that. So just leaning his head. So we're going to mark 2 different behaviors. One is if he leans his head in, or if he puts one paw on. So either behavior you can click, and I will reward him. I like that. He's leaning his head. Great job clicking once. You only need to click once. Don't click too many times because it can confuse him. Nice job clicking when he leans his head in. Great job, guys. Great job. Yeah, there it goes! And a little break, that's fine. Why don't you go eat that treat over there? So he did put one paw on. Let's see if we can do that again. Great job clicking for leaning. Awesome. Great job. Okay, let's pause right here. Let's make it harder for him. So now let's look for that one paw. Do not click when he's leaning. Only click if he puts one paw on. Let's see if he can do it. Ready, Ponzi? Yeah! Ready? Let's do that one more time.
I didn't.
We're gonna wait for the pause. Yay! What a great job! You did it, mister! Good job. Awesome, so let's pause right here. Another example, he really didn't want to get on at first, right? I didn't push him. I didn't say, come on, let's do it. I didn't just push tons of treats in his face. We were working systematically and deliberately. We actually started with a hard step. I said, let's look for one paw. He didn't do it. I said, let's make it easier. Let's look for leaning. And by encouraging him and making training fun, he was able to do more. So that's an example of how, if I wanted to teach him to get on this thing and sit pretty on it, we could do that. But maybe not today, but the steps are there, The dog wants to work with us. We want to train with the dog. It's all fun and it's effective. So let's do one more practice together and then we'll wrap up for today. Let's teach him to come when called, which he probably does for Tori because Tori's his person, but he probably won't do it for me because he doesn't even know who I am beyond today and some passing interactions at the shelter. So, coming when called is such a hard skill. Let's say we were out in the woods and I said, Panzu, come here, come on, Panzu, come. And it's not working. Here's the thing, it's so hard being human sometimes. We use language to talk, but when we say words and it doesn't result in the action, dogs just learn to ignore us. So all the times I said, come here, come, and he's not doing it, he's like, I don't care about that sound. So here's what we always say in class, or here's what I tell people in class. Don't say the word come until your dog is already coming towards you. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to say his name, and I'm going to use other signals to try to get him to approach me, but I want you to click when he is more than halfway to me. So kind of imagine Tori's going to hold him here. Let's say this is the halfway point. Only click if he's this close to me. All right? So let's see if I can get him. Panzu! Come! Good boy! There you go! Great job, guys. All right, let's do another one. So Tori's going to bring him back over there. Eat your cheese. So he's mildly distracted. He's not looking at me. Panzu! Come! Good boy! Nice job! And again, by being very patient and by using my words deliberately, I'm saying come when he's already moving towards me. So he's making the association that I want. I don't ever say, in the beginning stages of training, I'm not going to say come when a dog just looks at me, because I can say come, and they're going to be like, I'm going to go back to sniffing the grass here. So that's not the association I want to make. Let's do one more. Ready, Panzu? Come! Good job! What a nice job. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's enough training for Panzu for one session. Does anyone have any last questions? Yes?
At what point do you lose the clicker in the treat?
Great question. So the clicker, the marker, even though I'm a professional trainer, I don't use the clicker too much inside of the house because I don't hype with the clicker, but I always say good or yes when my dogs do what I like. The treat thing, the short answer is when your dog is behaving exactly how you want them to behave in a certain context, you can start fading rewards. And here's the thing, eliminating treats isn't just like, oh, you're trained, I don't need them anymore. You need to gradually do it, because if you just eliminate it, dogs' behaviors will just go away. Kind of like kids, right? You do a chore, you get $1 or whatever. You can't tell kids, when you clean the dishes, I'm going to pay you on a bi-weekly schedule. They're just like, what is that concept of time? But as an adult, they've trained us, right, to accept a bi-weekly schedule or a monthly schedule. So, but that's fading rewards. That's an example of how we need to do it with dogs. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
You say what age to start?
Oh, man.
If you're getting a puppy, you get it at 6.
Yeah. Great question. So the short answer is when a puppy is old enough to eat solid food, they're actually old enough to start training. But for puppies 4 to 16 weeks of age, socialization is the most important thing. So if an owner gets a puppy, let's say they're 8 weeks of age, that's typically the age they go home, if they don't even work on any obedience training for the first 2 months, I don't care, as long as they socialize the puppy. But really, 8 weeks of age is a great time to start. Question?
If the puppy was, if you had a puppy and it was if it was kind of like sick, if the puppy was sick but you didn't know and you were trying to train him and you didn't even know that he was sick, and he didn't behave right, how would you know that he was sick?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, thankfully, I know dogs can tell us that they're not feeling well, but thankfully they do have a lot of signals. Like a lot of them will act really tired. They might sleep a lot more than usual. A lot of times they can get runny noses or goopy eyes like us, or their poop won't be solid. So there are lots of signs. And of course, if any dog is feeling sick, we should focus on helping them recover first. Any other questions? Yes? Great question. So Tori hasn't done a DNA test on him yet, but so we don't know. He's just a super mutt. Yeah. How old is Ponzu? 4 years old. Awesome. Question? Yeah, we are 5930 Highway 93 South, but pretty much as you're driving south on Brooks, I'm sure your mom can take you. Yeah. So thank you for your time today. I'll hang out for a bit if you have any other questions, but Tori can walk Ponzu through so that you can pet him. I think it'd be better for Ponzu if he walked by you instead of us mobbing him. But he's a really sweet dog, so feel free to say hi to him. Tori, I'll give you this bag of cheese as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. And again, if you have any individual questions, I'll hang out for a few minutes so that you guys can ask. All right. Thanks, Ponzu and Tori.